Welcome back to the Catch a Glimpse podcast. We are here on the 5th weekly episode. How are we doing today, guys?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yup, scrumptious as always. Let's go.
Why we had to use
like
that
that,
word?
baby.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
If you guys are watching on YouTube, you can already tell we have a very special guest on our podcast today, Charlie Breit. Welcome to the Catch a Glimpse podcast.
Welcome.
Thank you. Charlie is my brother, if you could not tell already. If you're just listening to this on Spotify or iTunes, it's a little bit different because you're just hearing our voices. Maybe we sound the same.
No.
We don't sound the same?
No, I don't think so.
Well,
Yo,
hey,
you from Wisconsin? Say bag. Say it.
Bag.
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 You want me to say boat too?
Boat.
Yeah, boat.
Both.
Goat.
Yeah, boat.
Goat.
Colorado.
Whenever we're playing, I always say ghost. That
Ghost.
was big O.
Yeah, ghost.
Ghost.
Anyway, Charlie, talk a little bit about yourself. What's been going on in your life? Your hobbies? Who are you? What do you do?
Well, I'm a simple man.
Okay.
I am married. I have a lovely, beautiful, awesome, darling
Hang
wife.
on. Let's talk about that.
Okay, we can talk about her.
Let's talk about that real quick.
already.
You have a wife.
I do.
Her name, Tess.
Tess.
When did you start dating?
The first time or the second time?
Second time.
Second time would have been about 2 years ago now.
So,
a
wait,
little over 2 years.
2019?
2019, February 2019.
What is her profession?
She is a choir teacher
And where does she teach?
at West Bend High School.
Where do I go to high school?
You went to West Bend High School?
And
know-
what was I into?
We're just straight up doxing
Choir?
right now.
That's like a
If
disposition.
you're not putting this together, Charlie started dating my choir teacher my junior year of high school and then got married to her.
You know, it's kind of funny when you start dating someone. Usually, you have to, ask their father permission to date them,
Yeah.
or something. If you're old school,
Yeah,
I had to
ask
ask
Frankie.
my brother if it was okay if I dated his choir teacher. But yeah, we started dating, and now we're married.
Yeah,
Here we are.
I said yes,
He did say
Really?
clearly.
I think it's funny to think about, like, now that I'm looking at it, it's almost like, oh, you're not, like, passing this class. I got you. Don't worry.
I never got that. I never got a freebie. I had to do it on
No,
my own.
surprised.
there was no freebies, but it didn't end there.
No.
Because you guys were in a show together.
Oh gosh, yeah. Because then we did Young
Oh, yeah, please
Frankenstein
explain
the
that.
following year, and I was cast as the lead.
Yeah.
Tess, Charlie's wife, was casted as a female lead who happened to be engaged to my character in the show while being engaged to my brother in real life.
It was hard to follow.
We were living it, and it's very hard to follow.
I can already imagine the title for the podcast.
Right,
Just-
right.
My brother's wife.
Yeah, great work. All right,
Yeah.
so that out of the way, let's move on.
Yeah, so I have a lovely wife. I work at West Bend Mutual Insurance in the claims department, which is good. So if you crack up your car, we might talk.
Very cool.
You always need insurance.
That's right. Always have insurance. Better to have it than not. I coach soccer. Big on that. Played my whole life up until I couldn't anymore, and then started coaching, and now we're here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You know, I know soccer's been a great part of your life all those years, and you kind of brought me into that too. Keaton and I were on the Wisconsin's greatest Pee Wee soccer
So
team when
let's
we were.
True that.
go.
I don't remember
that.
what was the team name.
it switched every year.
You're right.
I think we were
The
just
Pee-wee
like
Peanuts.
everybody just had a different colored uniform,
We had
and that was about
We
it.
had the gray ones.
Yeah, like
shirts were skins.
Did you ever play soccer?
No, I wasn't really into sports. I wanted to get into football just because
That's
of my
okay.
sheer size, but I just
Hey, I
didn't do it.
jumped into football and I didn't get comfortable with it until my 4th year.
Were you a quarterback?
In 5th grade, I was 3rd string.
Yeah.
Never played a snap.
Third string.
I never ran in practice.
Oh,
All right, I
man.
stood there at practice for like a week and I did nothing because they just forgot I was there.
Hey, Bill and Paul are sick today. Hey, come on in. We
Yeah,
need
right.
you.
Yeah.
I haven't
do
been
say-
to a practice.
Backup quarterback is the best job in the world.
Exactly.
So,
You
yeah.
get paid to sit.
yeah.
But you didn't get paid.
Right.
No,
I was
So
in
it's 5th grade
Yeah,
football.
5th grade football team.
you got the experience of nothing,
Right, exactly.
but the
We'll
experience
we'll
of being
boost
there.
your GPA if you sit here.
Right. Free tuition, maybe scholarship. Charlie and I both have something huge going on right now. It is the Something Rotten musical through the Hartford Players. This is Charlie's first musical in 10 years. Charlie, how's it been going for you?
It's tough.
I can't imagine the nerves.
There's a
Sounds
little
good.
bit of rust, and by a little bit, a lot of rust. It's definitely a learning curve to get back into it. It was kind of a thing that my wife pushed me to do back to her.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So it's been fun. We've made some friends along the way, and it's been interesting to get back into it and kind of learn the nuances again and some of the terminology, and
Right.
just try not to screw anything up too bad.
I think I was rusty too. I mean, it was a year after my first show, so it'd been a while. So you and I were kind of in the same boat, but yours was 10 times worse.
Right. Yeah. So
Yeah, nice.
I follow Frank for everything we do.
We happen to be
is-
on stage together at almost every
Which
scene.
is good because we're
Right.
blocked next to each other for the majority of it. So it definitely helps to have someone to follow. Yeah, it's been good. It's been fun. It's going to be a great show. It's an entertaining one.
Yeah, coming up this weekend, July 9th through the 11th, and then I think 15th through the 17th.
Right. Yeah. It's
That's
a fun
7:30.
one. Don't bring your kids.
Nope.
Do not bring your kids.
If they are like in middle school, then you can bring them. But if they're any younger, I would probably
It's a
not.
little
A baby
vulgar.
in the background.
It's a little
right.
vulgar. But definitely, if you haven't heard of it before, check out the music. It's a fun show. It's easy to follow, and it's got a good story to it too.
Yeah.
Keenan and I are going to be there.
Yeah,
filming
Keenan
the whole
Ryan has
thing,
something
too.
to go on with the show. You guys want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so a lot of stuff is happening with Glimpse right now. We have the county fair coming up. That is very, very soon for us. We're making sure we get everything set up for that. And one of those things is we're going to be filming bits and pieces for the show. We're going to interview some people. We're going to tape the show itself. So, and I kind of wanted to bring up, it's kind of crazy that, like, in our families, this kind of, like, just runs through it all. Like, you've been in shows, Charlie, Frankie, you've been in shows.
Yeah.
Um,
Not Ryan. We're talking about the Walla and Bright connection.
Yeah.
yeah, this is
Yeah,
the
get out
connection
of
here.
here.
Zoom you out of
Yeah, you gotta get out of here. But then I just think it's crazy that, of course, for me and Frankie to do this stuff together, we have to have the same connections. But then it's weird that just like our families in general as well do that
Right.
stuff.
Right. Because, Madeline went to Stevens Point, and
Yep,
she's
going for media right
and
now.
now she's got a new movie in the works.
Yeah, movie in the
So-
works.
Dang.
Yeah, probably
I'm
talk about
excited
that
for
on a
everyone.
future podcast as well.
Absolutely.
A little bit of promotion for that.
But yeah, it's
yeah.
definitely been an experience coming back to theater. There's times where I've kind of had to hold Charlie's hand a little bit,
Literally.
and that's okay, because there's times like backstage, I feel like I'm comfortable again. I've been in the show, I know what I'm doing, but then Charlie will ask me like, let's run to the steps again, like right before we go on, and I'm just like, Charlie, I'm sitting here, man, I'm good. Just trust yourself. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of accountability that goes into it, and knowing the steps and the music, and it just seems like it's a lot more than like a high school show.
Right. No, it definitely
which
is.
it has a different dynamic to it in that a high school show you typically see 2 or 3 really strong leads, and in this one I feel like everyone could fill into
Absolutely.
a lead role.
Yeah.
So then I kind of feel like the weak link. But
No.
as far as that goes, I'm working my way through it. Finally, I was telling Frank this is that finally after this weekend, it finally starts to feel, a little more comfortable. A little more relaxed around, what I have to do on stage. So that's good because we open in less than a week.
Less
so,
than a week. 5 days? 4 days?
Yeah. It's coming quick.
But
I
this
don't,
is-
I
yeah.
don't know how you guys do that. My brain just trying to remember lines, remember where you have to go during what part. I would not be able to do that. It's like rocket science. I could not wrap my
And
head around.
especially with this one, we had a month, about 5 weeks, where we had
Quick.
rehearsal time.
It was short.
You gave me a script for one of the like videos that we did, and I couldn't get down 2 lines. I couldn't.
Yeah,
No, I was bad with that too, though.
when we filmed the intro videos for Glimpse, which you can
I was
still
the
check
best
out
one there
if
'cause it
you're
was
the
just
new people.
Rapid.
But yeah, we had just little scripts, stuff that we wanted to touch upon for those videos, and it was just like all of us were just, I don't know, we were just almost dead that day. Like it was I'm sorry, it was just tough to, like, you'd think it'd be super simple, just a couple lines, but it really is just the practice you have to put in it, because we wanted to know it like 20 seconds before we filmed it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
with shows, you guys said you had a month, which is kind of
That
painful, but
that video was like a minute 30 seconds.
yeah.
And I took me like an hour just
Yeah,
to get my lines through. I couldn't.
But yeah, that just shows that's just like the practice of it. And then like, yeah, once you kind of get the feel and then like you're in the show, you know, and you feel like you're in the show in the moment, I feel like it's like a different level of.
It's just it's muscle memory at that
Yeah.
point. It's just doing it over and over and over again.
Yo, there's a bug, and I'm not trying to mess with it.
Kill it.
Stomp on.
No, I'm gonna let it out. Sorry. You guys just keep talking.
Well-
Oh, that's a big one.
Well,
This is okay.
I just wanted to ask about the show. Has there been any mix up or mess up between at least you two, not to chuck anybody under the bus? You know,
Oh,
like,
like a big
during a show,
mishap?
during
I
during
don't know a big specific one, but it's just been tough with music, because the music for, like, we'll have like a very kind penis come in, and the music is really fresh for all of us. So it's kind of like figuring out tempos, and with like we have a lead piano player and then background singers, all of us getting on the same tempo and matching up together has been tough because we don't really have like a band. But this past couple rehearsals hasn't been much of an issue. It's gone really well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with the band going to come in soon, I think it's going to be a lot easier for us to all match up, and that's just been something we gotten used to, and just like I said, running things over and over again, getting used to it, and getting better at it.
I would say we haven't had many mishaps yet with this show. I'm sure there will be a glitch that we run into
Somewhere,
during a
yeah.
show. You know, there always is, but with this show, I haven't come across anything drastically awful yet.
Right.
That
You know.
could really be an issue, but it does happen. You know, mics fail or sets fall apart.
This is
people
a
fall
fun one to
over,
talk
and-
about. What happened to you your senior show? Tessa's
Okay,
mic went out.
So this goes back to my senior year of high school. Tess and I were in Legally Blonde together. She was Elle, I was Emmett.
Mhm.
It's dead, by the way. Sorry.
Thanks,
my,
Ryan.
my mind was just stuck on this bug.
Exterminator.
Sorry, go ahead.
janitor slash
anyway,
exterminator.
yeah, so we were in Legally Blonde, and I think it was like the second or third night. She had severe mic problems, to the point where she actually had to hold a handheld on stage. The problem with that is somebody has to deliver the handheld to her, and that was deemed to be my job. So I was looking for the right opportunity to get her mic throughout this thing, and she just would not look at me on stage. And I'm trying to be discreet because there's an audience full of people, and
Yep.
I don't want to just say, "Oh, here you go." So, being 17 and not having a wealth of knowledge to refer back to, I decided that the best option would be to just give her a little love tap on the back of the leg with my foot, and if
That couldn't have gone well.
No, Tess is
just
about
pick
a
her.
foot shorter than I am, about 100 pounds less. So it moved her more than I wanted it to, and the back of the
God.
leg kind of gave out, and then,
Oh,
then I was
gosh.
able to go here. But to this day, she don't let me forget it. Yeah, it's
you got the job done at least.
that's right. And that's what I was there for.
What I remember is that she went off stage at one point, and you had to like improv looking for a book.
Oh, that also happened that night.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't know if the handheld died or something, but she had just all sorts of problems. And it was a scene where just the two of us were on stage.
Right.
And she was changing a mic pack out, which for anybody that hasn't done it, it goes down the back of your shirt and you clip it onto something, and then you tape it around your ear. But as far as that goes, that can be very difficult if you have layers of costume on.
Right.
So she was having just the darndest time trying to do that, and I was left alone on stage to improvise in
like,
front
"You
of an
guys like-
audience
you guys
of
like
like
stand-up
1,000
comedy?"
people. Yeah, like you just keep looking for that. I had to look for a book, I think, is what we went with. And
Couldn't tell. You did good.
yeah, it was one of those things, and then that seemed to keep happening throughout my life. I don't know if you guys ever went to like the Madrigal dinner at the high school, but it always seemed like the food wasn't ready in time. So our choir teacher Miss Wysocki would always ask me, because I'd be in the crowd,
Right.
can you come up and can you, buy
Charlie,
us
do
some time?
I remember
and,
this.
And yeah, I was like, how much time do you need? She's like, 20 minutes. And
Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
Like, oh my God.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a
Here I
full-on
am-
show right
here I am
there.
in street clothes. Everybody else is dressed up like they're from a different century. And
Yeah.
it's goofy. But yeah, if you ever need time, I got you. I'll
You
find
did the whole bell thing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a whole audience to just ring their
Right.
bells in some
Well,
way.
they all had to make a bell noise.
Oh, is that what it
Yeah,
was?
right.
Ah.
And then we tried different combinations.
Just for fun.
Yep. Yeah.
It's something random, but having it like brought into my mind when you said like having the whole audience do something.
Mhm.
Have you guys ever seen the clips with Swagger Souls and like the Fitz group when they went on like stage?
I have no clue.
He
at all.
goes, everybody be quiet. On the count of 3, we're all gonna crack our knuckles.
Oh, I have.
Oh my
I've
gosh.
actually seen that.
Everybody
really?
cracked their knuckles, and it was just like a wave of just.
I don't like
It was
that.
real gross. I have heard of that.
If you want to hear something satisfying, I'd watch that. It's
Okay.
just search Swagger
right.
Souls.
It might be
Swagger
cringy,
Knuckles.
too.
Yeah, if you don't like cracking knuckles, don't watch.
Yeah, if you don't like the noise, of course, don't look at
Right.
it. But
Yeah,
I said this last week. With the musicals, we have to get Ryan in one
I'm not gonna be able
with
to do it.
a microphone. He's got to go through everything: makeup, hair, costume, everything.
I'm
Get
gonna-
the man a lead.
I'm gonna be up there and be like,
This show in particular has one role where there's a man who is a male actor, but he is always cast as the female in the show.
Because in Shakespearean times,
Yeah.
guys played both
Yeah.
parts.
Women weren't legally allowed to be on stage. And I'm not saying anything, but I think like
I think if it's like something
If
out
there
of my
was-
realm, it's
if
easy.
there was a role for you that I could see for you in this show,
Beard and all.
because there's
Yeah.
there's just goofy line. That character has goofy lines, and
And he forgets a line. It's one of
and
his.
you just have to
his-
do
his
it up.
bits.
Yeah, and you even get to go out with the script because
He's just like, yeah, I can see that.
yeah, right. He can
Yeah.
be the bearded lady.
Hey, give me the tree from Diary of a Wimpy
Tree number
Kid.
6.
Just
yeah, there
that,
you go.
Yeah,
That part we're talking about is played by Cody in the musical we're doing, and
fantastic.
he is
Fantastic.
such a great guy.
Yep.
From just performing, costumes, hair, makeup,
Choreo. Lots
the
of
man
choreo.
is unbelievably talented, unbelievably helpful. He's done so much for the show and done so much for us as the group we're in, the dance that we do.
And he's doing multiple shows right now.
Right.
He's doing Children of Eden in West Bend as well.
Which you are also in.
Unfortunately, yes. I'm a little swamped right now. With
how do you
just,
not mix your lines? If there's like,
well, the good news
Just
is,
going
is
to
that
one different
it's
show.
Yeah.
only rotten. I only have one line, so that's
Okay.
good. Yeah, so that helps. But yeah, he's busy and he's been an absolutely awesome resource for me and you
Absolutely.
to refer back to because he's just so reliable. But yeah, props to Cody.
Well, hey,
Cool.
go check out something rotten coming up this coming weekend. But let's move on to something we all love and enjoy, and that's known as Star Wars. Now, there's one person at this table who has never seen the Star Wars films, and this is where, again, we just zoom the camera.
Yo, yeah, why are you in this episode, man?
why am I here?
I want to talk about a little bit about Star Wars. I've been watching it since I was a kid.
Likewise.
Yeah, Keaton.
Yeah.
Yes.
When I was a kid, I didn't understand the 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. I
Okay.
never got that. Did you guys get that right off the bat?
I only got it because of the Lego Star Wars game. The one on
That
the
makes
Wii.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And it's hard for you guys, and I'm gonna age myself here, but
Fair enough.
When I was growing up, we had 4, 5, 6 already,
Mm-hmm.
and then we got to live through 1, 2, 3
Mhm.
coming
Right.
out, and we were old enough to watch it. And yeah, I mean, it's a timeless debate which order to watch the series in.
Yeah.
Because there is so much that you can go through now. But yeah, I had no issue with it.
Speaking of growing up with 1, 2, 3, I know you had a very favorite character, as most people would, Anakin Skywalker.
oh yes, Anakin. yeah,
Within,
yeah.
when you're a kid, you like the main guy.
Yes,
And then if you haven't seen the third Star Wars film,
it's devastating.
it is a devastating twist that I remember you did not fondly enjoy.
No, and it was one of those things where you knew what was coming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody knew that. Is it okay if I drop? Like,
Yeah.
what happened?
I
There's
think-
gonna be spoilers.
Spoilers, skip ahead.
Just-
I mean, the movie's 20 years old.
Yeah.
now,
If
so
you
I
haven't
feel
seen
like-
But-
we're dropping spoilers.
Isn't Luke
Yeah.
Skywalker like Darth Vader?
Wait,
No, no,
who-
no.
what did you say?
Oh,
Luke Skywalker.
no, Anakin Skywalker.
Anakin. What's the difference?
It's
Are
his
they just
father.
They're different people.
Son.
Yeah.
They have different names.
But anyway,
dude? I thought
Anakin-
they were the same person.
In the third movie, Anakin turns to the dark side, and we all knew that was coming before it even started. We knew before, it even came out that
right.
that was
eventually
what
that
was
would
going to
happen.
happen.
Right.
And for whatever reason, fourth grade me just could not handle that afterwards. I remember we went. It was our dad and I. It was
Yeah.
just the two of us. We went to go see it in theaters, and I held it together through the. I got out of the theater, and we got into the truck, and waterworks. Just immediate. I don't know where it came from or why, but I could not control it. And we met up with you and our other brother and mom
Yeah.
at Taco Bell. I couldn't go in. I could not get my 9-year-old self wrapped around the concept of what I had just saw.
You go to school next day and it's like, I don't want to do nothing.
It was
I'm
life.
out of it.
Dynamics.
I can't do this.
Yeah.
Not today. Hey,
you
teach,
guys-
not today.
Yeah.
You guys like those movies that like wrap your like emotions into them? I love those. And it was like when Infinity War came out, everybody at school, I don't know if you remember this, everybody's just like, I remember in one of my classes, our teacher was like, if you've seen the movie, do not
Yeah.
speak about it. If you speak about it, you are getting written up because like people are like spoiling it for others because kids will be kids.
This happened
Yeah.
to me in 8th grade. I walk in first hour of the day, Force Awakens, 7 Star Wars movie had just came out. I walked in, and I was talking to my teacher about it. It was Mr. Detman. And I was like, I haven't seen it yet. I can't wait to see it.
It's like, did
And
you see the
then
spoilers?
This kid from like over that direction looks over at us. She goes, Han Solo dies.
Oh,
And I was,
Oh,
surprise.
the teacher legitimately got mad at him.
Did he actually though? Like in the movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
spoilers.
I hate those
Spoilers.
people.
Take
I
it.
hate those people. It's
That was
like,
terrible.
Yeah.
Nemo got taken. Like, what? Dude, I didn't watch
We
that
gotta
part yet.
find him.
It's
That's the
finding
premise of the
Nemo. He's gonna
movie.
have to take it eventually.
He has to
Hey.
get lost somehow.
Yeah, I got a Nemo theory if you
Well,
want to hear that.
unless, I would just want to say,
I'm gonna write that down.
I just like to bring up, we had the originals, and then we had the prequels, and now we have the sequels.
Sequels, yes.
So I think, just to make this quick, in categories, how would you rank them?
It's an interesting dialogue that can be had on that. I think growing up, I would have put the prequels ahead of the originals, and then I obviously didn't have the sequels yet. So I'm gonna just automatically put the sequels in last, and we can get into that a little bit more. But as I got older and you start to appreciate acting and plot lines and whatnot, I definitely moved towards the originals being my favorite and the prequels being lower on the totem pole. But now we have things like YouTube and we have things like Star Wars Theory and we have
Shout out.
all these different pages that really dive into the comics and they dive
Right.
into legends and stuff like
Right.
that and get into the deeper stuff. And you really start to see, okay, maybe George Lucas was onto something when he put this together. Everybody rips on Hayden Christensen, but maybe
Right.
Hayden Christensen was really good in what he did in these movies. So I would almost say that for me, I think it's still originals. I think it's prequels and then obviously sequels here, but the prequels aren't as far back from the originals as maybe they were at one point in my
Right.
life. Yeah.
I would say that I would have to rank prequels, original trilogy, and then sequels last, just in the garbage can.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm in the
far
same
behind.
exact boat.
Okay.
yeah,
it's
me too.
the-
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah,
Right.
thanks. It's prequels get too much hate, and that's like the same exact way it's going now. It's like people watch the prequels and it's like, those movies suck. And it's like it's just the originals, and then the sequels came out, and now everybody's like, wait, no, the prequels are actually bomb movies. These sequels suck. Like these are garbage. But then you have those kids who are born with the
With it,
sequels, and
yeah.
they're like, "Whoa, these are amazing," and the
So-
prequels and the originals are not that good.
I mean, and maybe what it will be is a situation where it's going to take 10 to 15 years for us
Right.
to appreciate the sequels, kind of in the way that the prequels were.
Yeah, but I think
They weren't as
maybe
good.
maybe
You're
it does
right.
go that way. But in the moment, yeah, no, the
They're
sequels
not
suck.
there yet, yeah.
Now for the sequels here, I have a big topic written down, big controversy I want to talk about. But before we start that with the sequels, I have another big problem with the climax to the sequel trilogy.
Go ahead.
So, spoilers, Endgame, spoilers, Star Wars. Okay,
Turn it off now if you don't want to know.
right. Endgame, how does it end? I'm inevitable. I'm Iron Man.
Here, yeah, Ryan's
Boom.
got this.
It's done.
Mm-hmm.
And then Star Wars, it's I am all the Sith and I'm all the Jedi. Boom, win. Why did Disney take their two biggest movie franchises and end both climaxes the same exact way? It's the
Because
same dialogue.
they knew that it worked.
I just think that's garbage.
Because they lazy, fam.
I think that's garbage.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's talked about enough, that those two things are the same.
They saw that Infinity War and Endgame got like highest movie sales of like all time next to like Avatar, and they were just like, "Yo, something's right here. Let's put it at our final movie."
Yeah,
and do the
but
same exact thing, reword it, and
It's
just
not a 1-1 correlation. They're different,
Exactly.
and that's why, yeah, it didn't go
And I feel
well.
like they just threw Star Wars out the window when they did that.
I think
Disney ruined it.
there is a little bit of laziness probably there because no matter what Disney does to Star Wars will sell.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
They
come
will-
out
Oh
with
yeah,
Disney.
will
100%.
always sell because it is Star Wars. And I
Everyone's
wonder-
gonna buy the new Lego set
right,
and everything.
it's always going to sell. So I wonder, if how because it started the sequel started off with Snoke and it had Kylo Ren and it was this new form of evil that we hadn't seen in Star Wars yet because it wasn't the Sith.
Right.
And I wonder if it was a situation where it started to kind of go astray and they said, okay, how can we bring this back to like get back to our fan base, and then they had to pull in the Palpatine thing
Right,
again, where they
right.
bring him back into it and he's now in the fold again, at the center of everything. So I do wonder. I mean, it's something that we'll never know. It's not something that's ever going to be released, I don't think. But I do wonder if it was a little bit of, oh shoot, we're losing people.
Right. Yeah.
And
because-
Star Wars doesn't lose people.
Mhm. And J.J.
yeah.
Abrams came out and said like he believes the films would have done better if there was more planning. I was like, you're kidding. Your director just came out and said there wasn't enough planning.
Yeah.
Like,
It's hard to believe too because on one side of it they did push out a lot of movies in a very short amount of time.
right, because they had the trilogy and the two
But
spin-off
they
stories.
had, if this was the plan all along, how many years did they have in between Revenge of the Sith and the first of the sequels? So
Right.
yeah, and you hear from the actors too. I know a couple of the lead actors have come out and said like this is not how the story was supposed to
Right.
go. There was big changes.
Right.
And yeah, I think it was kind of a mess. And there are people out there that say that it should be entirely removed from canon.
We've
so-
talked about that.
Yeah.
But Adam Driver, who played Kylo Ren, didn't know who Rey was, and the scene where he says "You're a Palpatine" was filmed in his closet at home.
Really?
Yes, he filmed it in his closet at home,
Wow.
like recorded it
COVID. You gotta
because
do
they
what you gotta
needed
do.
it and they didn't know. Well, COVID wasn't a thing yet.
Oh, my bad.
Okay.
I don't know when it was filmed.
it was in planning, but it
Right.
wasn't out
Right.
yet.
But anyway, I want to talk about a huge thing that happened in what was the movie called? Rise of Skywalker was the last
The
one.
last
Yep. The Rise of
See,
Skywalker.
I've watched it twice. I watched it
Yeah.
years. I
Even
watched
though-
the DVD once,
Well,
and that's been
just
it.
right before you bring that up, what's the movie that was the filler movie?
There was
It was the sequel, but it was more the story.
Well, there was
Rogue
there was
One.
Solo,
Rogue
and
One.
There was Rogue One.
Yeah, see, like I've watched them all. I don't remember almost any of the names, but Rogue One, that was actually one I could pass. That's
I
one
agree.
that I'm
I
like,
liked Rogue One.
that was pretty chill. Like that's
Especially
a
the
good
Darth
movie.
Vader scene.
But yeah, the rest of them, yeah, no.
Yeah,
bad.
that 30-second Darth Vader scene at the end of Rogue One was arguably the best 30 seconds in Star Wars.
I agree.
They got that exactly right, and I think if you are a first timer,
Right.
when you're going through it, it is almost better. I mean, if you watch it back, if you want to watch it the way that it came out, you'd be fine to watch 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, then 7, 8, 9, and then the stories in between. But there is something to be said about watching it as the timeline moves forward, 1, 2, 3, then you do Solo, then you do Rogue One, then
Right.
you do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you want to throw Mandalorian or Clone Wars or something else
Yeah.
that's cool in there, you
Yeah.
could. But
It would take you
Um,
forever to watch it all.
it does. But I think Rogue One was an awesome filler piece.
I agree.
Yeah, Rogue
that
One was good.
They got that one exactly right.
It's almost like a mission for me not to watch any of them now.
Why?
Because like you see all the clips of like people on TikTok being like, "Oh, this was like my favorite scene from Star Wars," and it's just like, okay, yep, next. Like I try not to watch it just for the pure fact of not being the one who's watched it.
Well,
It's a title.
here's
Yeah.
something that you won't know about. Let's talk about force healing. Very controversial topic that came out in the Rise of Skywalker, the last Star Wars movie. I don't know how we all feel about it, but I know that I hate it.
Yeah, it's just dumb.
I'm very against it myself.
Is it like you're damaged and it's just like I
Yep, I
heal
can
you
use the
from-
force and I can heal you. I can save your life and heal you.
The concept of Rey Palpatine Skywalker.
Yeah, what?
Exactly.
being this ultimate power within the Force where she has even less training than Luke Skywalker had.
Mhm.
Yeah, ultimate power, ultimate Jedi,
I mean, just
insane fighting skills.
untouchable, the only one that can truly defeat Palpatine. Like, that was kind of lost on me. And it kind of, I mean, overall, and force healing is part of this, but it did feel like it kind of mitigated the amount of influence and respect that like a Luke Skywalker gets within the series, or even Darth Vader, because you take these pivotal characters within the storyline and you give them kind of a backseat role
Right.
to this one new character
Mm.
that going into this was not pivotal to the storyline.
Right.
It wasn't something that we knew about, whereas we knew Luke Skywalker, we knew Darth Vader, and we knew their stories and where they came from. And, there's all sorts of stuff from Legends where they have like these awesome powers that you don't necessarily see in the movies. And it feels like those kind of got diluted.
Yes, and I understand that like Palpatine, Rey's a Palpatine. Like you think Darth Sidious probably the most powerful being in the movies, other than Yoda.
Arguably the entire Star Wars universe.
Right,
yeah.
right. So then it kind of makes sense to me why a Palpatine would defeat a Palpatine.
Mhm.
But just the whole idea where force healing exists in canon universe now.
Mhm.
If this power existed, the whole thing just doesn't make sense to me. Anakin Skywalker wanted to save Padme. Yeah, and that's why he turned to the dark side. He was trying to learn
Yep.
a force method to save Padme.
Mhm.
And that he was brought up saying, like, Palpatine told him it's through the Sith. If the Jedi power was available in a thing, why didn't
Well,
he do his best to learn that?
That's the
Why'd that never
frustrating
come up?
side of this, and I can tell you why. Because
Okay.
I have the answer to this.
Okay.
Because think back, Revenge of the Sith, they give him a seat on the council,
Right.
but they do not grant him the rank of master.
Okay.
Without the rank of master, he can't go into the Jedi archives to learn that power.
Just
And
makes sense.
that is where things start to tumble. So you think about it, I mean, the fall to the dark side makes sense because his entire life with the Jedi, he's told, no, no, you can't become a Jedi. Nope, you're not going to be trained by Qui-Gon Jinn. No, you're not doing this right under Obi-Wan. Don't trust your feelings. Don't think about, yeah, your mom just died. Sorry, just move on from it. He's constantly being told no, no, no. And all he wants is to just be told yes, so he
Right.
can do this one thing that his entire being
Mm-hmm.
is circling around. So it makes sense that he fell. But, if that knowledge was, I have to assume that knowledge was in the archives.
Yeah.
And I
you
have to
think.
assume that he would have been powerful enough to learn it.
I agree.
And if it existed for Rey, it would have had to have existed for him.
Exactly.
And because they didn't grant him the rank of master,
But
that's where it goes.
like that to me makes sense. But again, it comes down to you're in the last movie, last like 10 minutes of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
Surprise.
and then Ray is just like, I could do this, right? And it's like, who gave you
What?
when?
Hey, maybe with the Kenobi series coming out, they'll fill in some of the Anakin stuff because I know Hayden Christensen is going to be in it.
Right. Yep.
So hopefully that's taken care of I want to move on to this next bit, if that's okay with everybody.
Sure.
I'm sitting over here trying to figure out if Yoda's still alive.
Yoda is not alive.
No.
Well,
But through the Force, though, he's still around.
I'd just like to say, this
Is he
could
the
be a
creator of it?
topic.
No.
Okay.
Is he the
Sorry.
what?
No, nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. I just like to say this would probably be we could retouch upon this in another podcast because I would love to talk about maybe just like my favorite part about talking about the sequels is just the inconsistencies.
Yes.
I just love pointing those out. But yeah, that could be a different podcast.
That could just be a video. And
Yeah, that could be one
Star
entire
Wars
thing.
episode. Yeah,
Exactly.
There would definitely be enough material there.
So maybe with the limited time we have, we'll cut this one out and we'll jump over to Charlie. You have experience with race cars, not
do
racing, but the sport of racing.
Yes.
Okay. You work on a car with a friend of ours, family friend, Heather's father.
Yes. So our brother Max
Mhm.
has a girlfriend. Her name is Heather.
Heather.
She has a father.
Hi, Heather.
His
Hi.
name is Paul.
Hi, Paul.
And she has a brother named Alex.
Hi,
and Paul
Alex.
and Alex pilot a 360 sprint car
Mm-hmm.
around the state of Wisconsin. And I, through Max knowing Heather and dating Heather, I have the opportunity to work on that car.
Mhm.
So the last couple summers, that's what I've been doing on Wednesday nights, and
It's very cool.
we get to go and watch, and it's a great time. It's a cool angle to learn a bit more about the science and how the cars function and the thought process behind
That's
it.
another thing you can completely go into is the science of racing.
Yeah,
Great.
Ryan,
That's another
It is.
episode.
Ryan wants to know the science of racing.
I mean, and
Car go
racing,
fast. Vroom. Yeah.
yeah.
racing kind of gets that, like, oh yeah, just the rednecks are into that. But like in truth, there is so much that goes into it when it comes to preparing the actual car
Mm-hmm.
that's going around the track. So it is cool to get to learn that and be around it. And
You got a
and
big night coming up tomorrow.
We do, yeah. So for those of you that aren't familiar, the Slinger Nationals are tomorrow.
The playoffs of racing.
One of the biggest races in southeast Wisconsin. Usually brings in a crowd of about 8,000, 9,000
Wow.
people, which
Okay.
for around here is
That's decent.
it's real
Quite a
good.
lot.
Yeah. So
Subscribe.
so yeah, it's going to be good to get back there. With COVID last year, I didn't get to go to the
Right,
track, but
right.
it's in my opinion the best race you can get to in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They bring in a lot of national level guys. They bring in NASCAR drivers, and you get to see those big names go up against local talent on a track that the big names aren't familiar with. So it's cool to see those local guys kind of slice and dice their way through
Yeah,
the big
definitely,
names.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's a great night of racing for sure.
Wonderful.
That's cool.
Well, hey, more sports. I would consider racing a sport. Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. We have other sports news that we Wisconsinites are extremely happy about. Keaton, what is that news?
So this is crazy. I know in the last couple of podcasts, if you've watched them, if you haven't, you should go check that out. But we have pre-made our happiness or our sadness for the Bucks.
Right, if they
So-
win or lose.
If they win or lose, we've made the reaction beforehand because these are uploaded a little late. So the Bucks, this is crazy. Okay, we won against Atlanta Hawks, which shouldn't be that crazy,
Right.
but we did it. We are now going on to the championship.
The NBA Finals.
This is crazy.
We're in it.
We're against the Suns.
Yep.
Oh, it's over.
I think, in all honesty, we have this. Like,
I would-
knock on wood.
Did you see the tweet that came out that said Bucks in 7?
Okay.
But I have a story about it. Not saying it's like right or wrong.
Yeah.
Just the guy who did it is a friend of somebody I work with.
Oh,
And it
really?
went viral. It's like on Sports Center,
I've heard,
Bleacher Report.
like, if you can certify that it's true,
Okay.
but I've heard people say that, like, you can mess with your tweet. If you don't know what we're talking
change the
about,
date?
yeah, a person tweeted that it was in like 2016, I think, that in 2021, Bucks versus Suns, they go like 123 to 117.
I have the
game
story
7.
behind it too.
Okay, well, so yeah, if you can certify
So,
this is some
This
breaking
is a story I
stuff.
got from Sam, my coworker, was that he and the guy who tweeted it were in a study hall freshman year of high school, and they were going back and forth. And the time in 2016, the Bucks and the Suns were like the worst teams in the NBA.
Mm.
So as a joke, they said, "All right, 5 years from now, they'll be in the NBA championship," and they are.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So we'll see if that comes true. But if that does, wow.
Time travel exists, everyone.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, but So if we want to make some reactions, the first game is Tuesday.
We won.
In the
Yeah, I
words
don't
of
think
Keaton
we take
Walla,
L's.
We
No.
take no L's.
Hey, did we all see the Giannis injury?
No.
You
Yes.
didn't see it?
No.
It's gruesome.
He
Yeah.
turned his leg inside out.
Oh,
The knee
And
bends this
I
way,
just like to,
that way.
I'd like to bring
He's
that
fine,
up.
though, for now.
With these past 2 games, Giannis hasn't been in.
Mm-hmm.
He was, we figured out it wasn't a serious injury, which was a big thank you. Then he wasn't in games, okay? But there's not saying he will be, but there's a chance he does play
Right.
with the Suns. And if we beat the Hawks without Giannis, then we can beat the Hawks without Giannis. And then if we have Giannis, then there we go.
I was talking
We're
about
in a
this
good spot.
with Charlie. I think you said Giannis is out for game 1, probably.
I think that's the assumption.
Okay.
Um,
I would agree that we should sit him game 1 to see how we do.
Yeah, I'd be
And
fine
if
with
we
that.
get creamed, okay, Giannis, it's time for you to come in.
I think
But if we hold our
Shake
own,
it off.
then- right.
yeah, if you see the Bucks go down 2-0, because I think the first 2 are in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
They're on the road, but I think if you see the Bucks go down 2-0, then you might start to hear the rumblings of Giannis coming back. But
Right.
and credit to the other players on the team, they've almost played
Oh yeah.
better. I mean, compared to elsewhere in the playoffs, better without him, and that's not
Th-
saying
this-
that we
yeah,
don't want
right,
Giannis
right,
to
right.
play,
This
but
is just a fun
they have
topic to kind of
really
talk about.
they have really stepped up
Yeah.
since he went down with the injury, and thank God there's no serious ligament
Absolutely.
damage there.
Yeah.
But anytime you have anything that looks the way it did,
And it's might be a blessing in disguise. Holiday, Lopez, Milton all get to be the stars,
yeah.
and
They
that's probably going to
stepped
help
up.
them. And then some of the bench players got to come get some playing
Yep.
time. That'll
Bobby
probably help
Portis.
them for the.
And-
he came up.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this is happening. Like, this is we just had the penultimate matches, okay?
Mhm.
And those players have shined, and now, they're a little warmed up with it. They know how they're playing together.
Right.
Of course, like, there's stats and everything, and they're going to get more play time, so they're going to look better just because they have to fill where Giannis's spot would be, even if it was a different player.
Right.
But yeah, if Giannis is back in it, then they work off each other. They know that bond. I think even that tad bit more. Like Giannis had to sit out. Granted, he was always sitting there on the bench, like on the sideline, just
Right.
watching.
He's always there. Yeah.
But now they know, like, all right, like we know this connection. Like we got this. So
Yeah. Hey, prayers up for the Bucks. Hopefully they do well at the beginning of the finals. I think Game 6 is like 5, or Game 1. I mean, is like 5 days away still, so they have some time
right,
to
I think
rest.
a little time, but I think it's
Might-
good omens.
I
Right.
thought it was Tuesday, but it might be.
Oh, is it actually?
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
I got
it's
that wrong. So
tomorrow.
by the
Yeah.
by the time this video comes out, we could be like a Game 3, Game
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
kind
We'll
of
be a
thing.
little bit in
So
there.
hopefully the Bucks are doing well. We're gonna move on to our final topic of the day. Ryan, you always kind of close us out with a very fun, controversial topic. Your time to shine. Let's do it.
So
Make it quick though.
I feel like everybody was born with a birthmark of some sort. Do
Okay.
you have a birthmark?
On my left breast. Yes.
Okay. Do you
Nice.
have a birthmark, Keaton?
I don't think so.
No. Do you have a birthmark?
I
Trevor?
do.
This guy hasn't died.
No.
Too.
So the
know
theory,
the theory,
the
yeah.
theory is behind it. So if you have a birthmark, that was how you basically died in your past life. But if you don't have a birthmark, congratulations, this is your first life. You might have one next time.
Yo,
Who
Keaton, you're
knows?
new.
Wow,
person.
that's awesome.
So
That's cool.
I have okay. Frankie's talking about he has a birthmark on his
Right here.
chest.
So does
He
that?
could have got shot.
Does
He
that
could
mean
have
I
got stabbed.
shot, or does that mean I had a heart attack? That's
You-
right where my heart is.
Honestly, you could take the narrative
It's
whichever
something
way.
like that.
You
So-
could have been in the Temple of Doom.
I could have, yeah, I could have
Coulda got impaled.
out of my chest.
Well,
That could have happened.
so if you have multiple
Indiana Jones.
birthmarks, what you
Multiple
just,
different
multiple lives.
Yeah.
But I just
So-
want to say, like, if you, okay, let's say extreme situation, right? You get pulverized. What? You have
lose
one
everything.
big birthmark?
There is some people who
That's true.
are born like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a good point.
So
Ryan,
I have
do you
I
have
have
a
a birthmark in the back of my head. So I always say that I was executed.
Oh no.
Oh gosh.
Like, the casual, like,
Beheaded.
on your knees, like the barrel to the back of the head.
guillotine.
That's
Yeah.
dark.
I could have been guillotined. Who knows?
Morbid thought.
Yeah.
But
Charlie, you have a birthmark?
I do. It's kind of like above. It's my lower stomach.
Is your liver kind of there?
No,
Or is it-
I think it's below my stomach,
Okay.
but
So
above
I'm-
my leg.
So
Trying to think
What
of
is-
like
what
how
is
that
there?
could happen.
Maybe you had a belt on and
It was too
some
tight
big
and it cut off
giant
blood
carried
circulation.
the belt.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like right here.
So
on
where's
it,
your
so-
kidney? Is that like
I
it's
think
in the
I
back?
mean, kidney's like here, right?
So
I think it's
so
close
have,
enough.
like,
Somebody
kidney-
could,
So maybe you
maybe I
don't.
fell on something.
Yeah.
and
You
went up.
donated a kidney, had one left, and you had kidney failure. You couldn't get a replacement,
Well,
and you
that's
died.
I think
assuming
Ryan's makes sense.
it's recent.
Maybe-
a lot of recent.
Maybe you were a fighter, right? And somebody just sucker punched you right there.
That knocked you
Oh,
out, and
right
you
there.
couldn't. You didn't come back.
Kidney
Internal
failure.
bleeding.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
internal
always-
bleeding right there. There you go.
I always do this thing with Charlie where I just hit him in the kidneys a couple times, and I said pee and blood in the morning.
Hey, where's your kidney? Or wait, no, where's your birthmark?
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Where
let
are
us
your
know.
kidneys?
Please
It's
send
10
your
o'clock at
kidneys.
night. Where are your
We need the
kidneys?
cash. Send the kidneys.
Right.
Hey, that was my little spiel.
I see. That is a crazy thing to think about. That is, you know, you think about like the afterlife and the differences and things like that. There's so many different things that like just your mind can go to.
Mhm.
It's basically to the imagination at that point.
I'm taking people's word that there is an actual birthmark back there because I haven't seen it.
You don't even actually
Oh,
know.
there's just
Somebody
telling
could
you stuff.
definitely be lying to me.
All right. Well,
See it, it's huge.
all right. A big thank you to our guest Charlie Breit for coming on the podcast. Wonderful
Yes,
job
thank you,
today.
fellas. Thank you.
Yeah, it was wonderful having you on. You give us a lot of knowledge, and hopefully maybe one day we'll have you back on and talk about some of these other things we didn't get to talk about today. But if you did enjoy today's episode, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Go check out the last episodes. Stay tuned for our weekly Wednesday content. Stay on the lookout for Instagram things based on the fair. The fair is coming up.
Yep,
We're
yep.
very active on the Washington County social media as well as our own.
Please comment on our Instagram or YouTube if you're watching our podcast on YouTube. And if you're watching it on Spotify or iTunes, make sure you comment on stuff on Instagram. We would love to answer your questions.
I'm looking at you, Italy, Belgium.
Forza Italia.
There you go.
Otherwise, yeah, make sure you check out our link tree. That's the easiest way to check out all our social links for, like the YouTube and the Instagram.
Yep.
Otherwise, I think that's it. That's a good Glimpse podcast, episode number 5.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for watching and your continuous watching of these podcasts. And if you're new, check out the past ones.
Do
But
it.
otherwise, I think that's about it.
We
We'll
promise
see you
they're good.
later.
Dole sumi Italiano.
Okay, bye.